Hi, this is Nat, and this is the second part of my Gamergate discussion. Gamergate hasn't gone away, and I don't see it going away. It's in too many people's interest that it keeps going. It's the perfect target to exclaim outrage about the thing in a game that you don't like. Either it is an enemy responsible for some of the greatest crimes and atrocities ever committed, and we must not just defeat it, but obliterate it and ostracize its wicked followers so that others will know that we will not tolerate any divergence from our diverse intentions and progressive plans. Alternatively, it is the cause which must be fought against, the heartless and corrupt agenda makers, a group who seek to defile our beloved games with the stench of their hypocritical pontificating on how free speech is only good when they are the ones doing the talking. The middle ground very quietly whisper to themselves that they just don't want to touch the poop. Occasionally, when one of these quieter, often wiser voices speaks to endorse any one point the other side has made, they are immediately claimed by one side and defamed by the other. Patreon has become almost a parody in recent months. As soon as someone, particularly on the anti-Gamergate side, is in a position of discomfort, whether financially due to a job loss, such as Bob Chipman, or when they have drawn enough ire and abuse from the supposed third-party trolls, a tweet with a link to a Patreon account is never too far away. Zoe Quinn has one to fund her games, writing, and other internet stuff. Randy Harper has one to fund online activism and open-source anti-harassment tools. Between them, Bob, Zoe, and Randy bring in over $10,000 a month from their Patreon alone. And one could argue that there has not been much content for this outlay. That is not to say that Pro-Gamergate is averse to seeking additional funds themselves, as Thunderfoot, Sargon, and of course the heftily funded train wreck that is the Sarkeesian effect, are more than willing to engage with the so-called e-begging trend. My concern with Patreon is that it is neither a sustainable model, nor is it one that inclines people to attempt to resolve the very issues that may have inspired their patronage. Too many have a vested interest in sustaining the conflict in games or pretending that there will ever be a resolution. Patreon has incentivized the continuation and intensity of the quarrel. I think of Patreon as Kickstarter for people. It has its very obvious uses and attractions, but in the long term does it actually encourage creators to pursue financial independence and sustainability? Does it risk making content creators beholden to the whims of their audience? Perhaps some creators would willingly sacrifice their artistic integrity to ensure the flow of cash. Although how would this affect the unknown creatives? As larger names, people who could do what they do as their employment, litter Patreon with their pleas to retain their creative independence. What becomes of the smaller creators? Or the new creators? Or the ones starting out and in need of help? An argument could be made against the utter independence of these creatives as well. They want to make the art they want to make. They want to create the content they want to create. Yet some level of influence and restriction may offer them better direction. Their work may become indulgent and self-serving without the constant reminder of an expectation or a brief. I am inclined to think of both sides of Gamergate as representative of something that has always been present in the world of gaming. It is ideas and expectations. People on both sides are currently entrenched and only able to see the evil of those who just don't think the same way that they do. Those in each camp who have been harbouring grudges have picked now as the time to settle those scores, seizing on the opportunity that the mob affords them. And it is almost always a mob, regardless of the side. As a rule of thumb, feminists, or feminazis, tend to side with those opposed to Gamergate. Men's rights activists, or misogynistic scumbags, tend to side with Gamergate. This leads to extremes on either side to use these points to declaim that one side are blah or blah. I dislike absolutist language. It is rarely informative nor descriptive of actual events, occurrences, or opinions. It is rash, awkward, and incites extremism. In the recently released Pillars of Eternity, a joke included from a Kickstarter backer has garnered more attention than it deserves, being called out for transphobia. Having viewed the poem, I don't think it is anything to lose sleep over. It's a clumsy joke, a bad poem, yet the butt of the joke is the idiotic man who took excessive pride in his sexual prowess. That is what is made a mockery of. The joke could literally be shortened to the phrase, "Pride comes before a very long fall." Lion had apologised for a tweet regarding National Cleavage Day, posting an image from one of their Fable games featuring a barmaid with a humorously over-endowed and heaving chest with 2 jugs of beer. Because jugs. That's a word people who don't know how to sex call breasts. And this has been without talking about Anita Sarkeesian. She has remained a focal point for attention and for contention throughout the duration of Gamergate so far. Whether it's the remarkably bland and the as inoffensive as often inaccurate tropes versus women's video series, being listed along with several other organisations by Intel as part of their diversity initiative, or being frequently dismissed as Jonathan McIntosh's dancing puppet, Anita retains the attention of both sides. Whether or not this attention is merited is another thing entirely, yet she remains the face of Gamergate's discussion much more so than Zoe Quinn. It may have started with allegations of impropriety at the timing of her liaison with Nathan Grayson, but it has moved far beyond that. Anita Sarkeesian, despite the efforts of the abusive, aggressive, life-threatening, and obviously always very privileged opposition she claims that all women face, has firmly rooted herself in the world of gaming. Almost immune to criticism from anyone on the anti-Gamergate side, and funded almost beyond comprehension thanks to a generously bloated Kickstarter, the goals of which remain unfulfilled, and the endorsement of Intel, Anita Sarkeesian is here to stay. We are Dinoslippers USB. The final part of my Gamergate discussion will soon be up, covering where we are and where we may be headed. Thanks for watching.